All right. Today we're going to be learning about Emercoin. It is we could call it a historical NFT or a historical blockchain. It's been around since 2013. And recently, the person that I'm sitting across from, Non-FungibleMate, is one of the leaders and excavators of Emercoin blockchain. And there have been some recent discoveries that are familiar with some of the guests that we've had on previously. They've found puny codes. They have found just very basic images of Ethereum. There's wine. There's all kinds of weird stuff. Honestly, I didn't even know about Emercoin until Non-Fungible brought it up. So I had to bring him on. I have to learn a lot about this. I don't really know much. And let's get off. So Non-Fungible, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you, actually. Very glad to be on the podcast. We'll be glad to talk through the NFTs, which I think contains, how does it work, and all the stuff you need to know.
Yeah, I thought literally 6 months ago, we were at the point of pretty much uncovering any sort of non-fungible token that existed. Only come to find out that the excavators like yourself and many others start exploring these, we'll call them unknown blockchains or unknown to the masses, and begin looking through these different processes of finding these images. I'm not technically savvy at all, so I would have no idea how to do it. So the idea that all of you bring this up and talking about it, and then it just becomes like a mad rush. So Non-Fungible, tell us a little bit about just your history in general. How long have you been in crypto and then into historical NFTs, and kind of like what led you to I guess searching through the Emercoin blockchain?
Sure. So I think I've been into crypto already since for maybe 5 years, mostly more 4, I guess 4, yeah. So since 2018, I guess. I actually got interested in all the concept of decentralization and how it works. But till the year of 2021, I was only interested in like the basic one, cryptos like Bitcoin and Ethereum and all this, but didn't go into the NFTs and other historical stuff. But then, I mean, in the middle of 2021, I noticed something really, outstanding from everything that I had in my life, like from YouTube, from all the different stuff that I had. So I was like, oh, damn, NFTs. It sounds interesting. And I heard some big names talk about it, like Gary Vee and Logan Paul, maybe KSI, or like all large names started coming there. And I thought maybe I should just try to look what it is. And I found this space really cozy and really interesting to explore. If we'll talk about historical NFTs specifically, I found out about them in around, let me think, I guess July 2021. I found a thread of Leonidas about the NFTs. I found the timeline of this thread and how NFTs actually look like when they all started, what are the rarest one and what are the earliest one. And basically, I was just looking into Ethereum. And then I started to explore the Ethereum blockchain. But in September, when I already started exploring it, I saw that most of the Ethereum NFTs were already found. So there were already a lot of created communities, and I thought, damn, the price on them already high enough, and I just gotta find something different. So I started looking on different blockchains, and I was going to advanced Twitter search, I was typing and combining the words like, I don't know, blockchain and card, blockchain and art, trying to filter it by the year, trying to filter it in Google in the same thing, in Bitcoin talk thread, but I didn't find actually anything which was not found yet. And then I found this blockchain called Namecoin, and I thought it pretty interesting. I started to look through the history of it, and I just went to the Wikipedia page, and I checked it, I looked through it, and I found out that there is an alternative. Like on the just on the page of Wikipedia of Namecoin, there is a text about alternative of Namecoin, and it's Emercoin. I was like, I never heard about his blockchain. It was created in 2013. It may be something cool. So I've started to look about information about it, and I found out that it has a pretty similar algorithms of storing data. It's just how it started for me to the NFTs and the historical space.
It seems like an organic search, because when we were excavating, or when people were looking through Ethereum, you're mostly looking for images, because that was the benefit of the ERC 721 standard. Then when everyone started looking through Counterparty on Bitcoin, then it's more about like the token. And then once you start getting the Namecoin, you're realizing that it's just like a domain registry. But then you can store various types of data on there, puny codes, a la all these other things that exist in there, probably some things that we haven't even uncovered. So then you want to try to look for blockchains that mimic that kind of storage. But I'm assuming, though, with Emercoin, since it was deployed about 2 years after Namecoin, there's probably some added additional functionality to it that makes it a little bit easier to digest and understand. Is that correct? Or did you have a ton of issues searching it, and you had to, I don't know, create some sort of like manual backend command to sift through the blockchain?
No, actually, besides other blockchains which I found, there are like plenty of blockchains which have been created through the times from 2009 and till 2022. But most of them, like not the blockchains specifically, the communities of it died, and people just stopped working on them. But with an experience of Emercoin, there are still plenty of people working on it. And if you'll check their Telegram group, there are people who are very active discussing it. If you look on their page, you'll see that there are plenty of functionalities exist. There are things which called Emer DNS, Emer NVC. That's what is name storing. So Emer and VC is their most, I assume, technology. Also, DPO, it's digital proof of ownership. Some assets as bottles and Ethereum certificates has this functionality. They at least have the name of it. So if you'll check in the blockchain, they have the specific name, which says like DPO, and then it has a serial number of the bottles. So yeah, they tried to implement this technology back then in 2017. So yeah, it differs from Namecoin because it's a hybrid of Bitcoin, Peercoin, and Namecoin. And also it has some additional functionalities. Yeah. So that's how it's pretty work.
So when you began exploring this blockchain, did you enter the Telegram group and begin asking a bunch of questions?
No.
Or were you a little hesitant? Because I know for some of those people who begin looking through these blockchains, if you kind of notify the people that exist already within the community, they might already have the ability to go through and just claim everything that you might be interested in.
Yeah. So there are pretty interesting story about it. So I understood that if I would enter the Telegram group and ask about NFTs, there might be people who already aware about NFTs, and they would have been more experienced than me and would claim most of the part. So I thought I should somehow manage to learn by myself how it works. And I've just Googled through the docs which they have. I found out about the Explorer which they have. So the life hack is how to find an explorer of the blockchain which you want to explore. Yeah, you can just go to CoinMarketCap, then enter the ticker or the name of the blockchain itself, and it will show information about it. So I just entered CMC, Emercoin, went to their official site, and there was a link to the blockchain. There was a link to the Explorer, and then where the most part is really fun. So I see the screen. You can just click on links on top, and you'll see the numbers of Explorer, the right one.
Yeah, there's about 4 Explorers, it looks like.
Let me check which. You can use Explorer Emercoin.com, the basic one. So yeah, I'm using Explorer 1, but I don't know the difference. I talked about it with the devs. They said there is no difference there, just like there was some kind of criteria for CoinMarketCap. They needed like 3 Explorers. So yeah, it's just some silly concept. So yeah, that's where the fun part starts. I was like, oh, great, they have a nice Explorer, because some Explorers, they have just a basic concept. They ask some companies to create Explorer for them, and they don't have such cool data on them. So they just have blocks. They have what else? They have amount of confirmation. That's it. But if you look at this one, you will see the buttons which says DPO, NVC, top 100. There is not much on DPO, but if you click on NVC, you will see the cool thing. So here is where the data stores, which I found. If you click on the results per 25 page, by the way, does our listeners here see the screen? Which
those that are on YouTube can see it and follow it along.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this Explorer is much better than the Namecoin Explorer, and honestly more visually pleasing than the X-Chain one as well. This is pretty well done, which makes it much easier to understand and digest.
Yeah, it actually has some advantages, but it also has some disadvantages. And that's why the person who recently entered our Discord helped us create another Explorer. Mm-hmm. His name is Swooty. I guess you can know him. He helped guys from Unicodes to develop something. There is no only Swooty. There was one other person. He's really great in coding. I just can't remember his name. Sorry for that. So yeah, the disadvantage of this Explorer. So when you update something on this page, it just goes up to the list, and then you won't be able to see this listing back when it was created. So before Swooty created the other blockchain for other Explorer for us, there was only functionality to prove the asset. Oh, sorry.
You're okay. Yeah, looking at it, it looks like there's a bunch of people going through and registering some popular names. Justin Verasano, there's KSI Cryptos on here, Steve Aoki. So
yeah,
looks like there's some newfound attention.
Yeah, people like the fun part, which I noticed when people found out about it, they started to registering very popular names like ENS names which exist on the Ethereum blockchain. Maybe because they thinking that in some matter of time they'll also be valuable, and that's actually could be true. Because maybe if Emercoin will get such certain attention, people will want to have some assets from there, and so they're doing some smart moves. We don't actually know yet, but maybe they'll be really valuable in some time.
Right.
So yeah, the one only thing before the new Explorer, how you could have prove that you own something, and which it was registered like couple of years ago. You had to enter your wallet, then you had to enter terminal, then you had to enter a command in terminal. So it was really, not an easy task to prove that this asset was actually created
Right, you had to have some sort of like technical knowledge, or essentially just be a developer to be able to begin writing command lines and read code and analyze and digest it.
Cool. So yeah, but now it's began to be easier because we have a modern blockchain. If you actually, you can actually maybe check it later, or you. I don't know if it's already exists in our page.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check.
Is it on your Discord? Is it in your Discord?
Yeah, it's on my Discord for sure. I don't know if you're in it, but we have a specific
here. I just opened it. Yeah, I just opened it up. What channel?
Let me check. It's Emercoin Explorer. And
all right.
Yeah, the second one.
The NFT Relics. Yeah, for those who don't know, too, Swooty, I believe, is one of the admins in the NFT Relics Discord, which had Blackstar on, and so they've been doing a good job. And so I just pulled it up right now.
Yeah, they're really great guys. I also appreciate their work. Shout out to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do I read this? How am I digesting this?
You can click the link which says database.nft relics.
Yep.
Or if you want to,
here we go.
For me to explain. Oh, we're already here. So, yeah. All right. So this is much easier. When you first open it, you can actually see the first name which was discovered, which was created. It's not a domain. It's not something like a Unicode. It's just a name which was registered on the blockchain. Woody actually has it because he made some scrape data and he was able to get it because there was some bug in this name and you couldn't see it on the previous Explorer. So yeah, he was able to.
Yeah, it looks like it's D. What is it? D semicolon emc.cc.st.
I didn't actually check it. It looks for me too difficult to understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. It maybe looks like a domain, but I don't know.
Yeah, and then it looks like that one was registered on July 26, 2014 at 2:11 a.m. And then the next registration isn't until almost a month after, on August 13th, 2014. So whoever registered this was either ahead of their time or wanted to experiment themselves, or maybe got some early access, because then the preceding about 10 registrations after that is test 1, test 4, test 3, test 2, test 5. So this is probably somebody different from the testers.
Yeah, I was actually able to get tests from 1 to 10. I don't remember if I got the allowance one, but I for sure had tests from 1 to 10. So these are just the names, and there are some already names. You can see they like Bitcoin, bitsec.com or something like this. But the art of it only starts in 2014, if I remember. Yeah, 2014. There was a person who was able to put some uh, uh, binary data inside of the value of the name. And actually, this is a really strange concept, but it works. So the dev of the Emercoin showed me only the owner of the name can actually check the picture which is stored inside the value of it. So, for example, there is a name called, you can put it in the Explorer actually, it's called Star, let me check how it's called. We have it in our Discord. It's called Star Revenge. Star. You can just type in star with the starting with the capital in the search bar on the right.
Oh, on the right. Okay. Oh, that's blocked. Yeah. My bad. So STAR.
No. It's a value. It's a value. I mean, on the top. I don't know if.
Here it is.
So it's so important, but yeah, I just decided to. I would suggest we need to start with the capitals S.
Okay. Wow. So it has to be capital S. Is it? And then what? TAR?
Yeah. Sure. Just like this.
Star Revenge.
Yeah. So yeah, here it is. It's the first picture which was stored on this blockchain. If you click it, you won't be able to see the value of it, because when the person reclaims it, this Explorer somehow makes the previous value to disappear. But if you check in Spoody's Discord, you will actually, you can go back to it. You can actually see, if you scroll right, I don't know, you'll see this massive data. And that's what is called, as I understood, binary data. And if you decode it, you will receive a picture of an alien with some words. It actually looks scary, but it's old. So
wow, yeah, this is a lot of data for those who are just listening. This is probably maybe 30 lines of just numbers and letters and symbols, which is the binary code. That's pretty wild. Also, so this was registered on November 9th, 2014 at 9:09 p.m. starrevenge.jpg. And this looks actually pretty similar when you click on it and go to the Explorer itself, the one that's created by the devs. It looks pretty similar to the Namecoin one. It's just much more colorful. There's hyperlinks in it, but it looks eerily similar. Were you guys able to uncover who maybe was the registrant, or maybe some of the OG devs? Do they know, or is this just an ongoing mystery?
No, I don't know actually, because there is still mystery behind it. I was trying to get information from the original dev, information about the creator of this picture. By the way, while I'm saying it, you can check the image of it in our Discord also. It is stored in all Emercoin NFT category in Star Revenge PNG channel, but yeah, it's optional. So actually, Oleg, he knows the person who created this picture, but he's like, this person wants to stay anonymous, and I already said to him that you want to talk with him, but he will think. So actually, we have a person. We know, Oleg knows the person who created this painting, but it's still unknown, because he didn't disclose the information, who it is, how to able to get his contacts. So we know that he's still alive, but we don't know who is he. So yeah, maybe in the future Oleg will reveal this info, but right now there is no information yet about him.
Right, and so now just looking through this Explorer, the NFT Relics one for Emercoin, moving into 2015, you begin to see some other end domains. So .coin is Emercoin. Now you start seeing like .bazaar, .lib, .emc. As you and everybody else began looking through the blockchain or Emercoin from 2015 and beyond, what kind of other NFTs did you come across?
I come across the one. So I found a couple of them. The one which is a bottle. But then I found Ethereum certificate. That's actually an image of Ethereum. It's just an Ethereum with a hat. So yeah, you can see this collection. I'll talk about the concept of exporting it to OpenSea later.
Yeah.
Also, we were able to find an Emercoin logo, R2.2. I always mess up the pronunciation of this Star Wars character. Yeah.
Oh, R2D2.
I can't remember the name. I'm not such a big fan of Star Wars, but yeah, I still watched a couple of series.
Wow. So it was almost 2 years then from, because those ones that I just pulled up on OpenSea, which we'll talk about in a second, is 2017. That image, that the first one, the known one, is from 2014. So there was almost 2 years of just down period, or you'd say like non-experimentation.
No, there are actually plenty of interesting NFTs through the period of 2014 till 2021. So we did a research today with the guys in Discord, and there are actually 3 times less amount of Unicodes on Emercoins from 2014 till 2018. There are actually, I assume we calculated 1,200 Unicodes registered at that time. Only one was registered at 2015 and 2019. What else? There are, I discussed the asset called Folding at Home page. It's a logo of the project which collaborated with Spell of Genesis and the workers on this project actually received the first card of Spell of Genesis, which called FD card. I recently talked about it with the creator of Spell of Genesis itself and the White Rabbit, because I assume he understands a bit well how this project works. And they said that, yeah, they actually collaborated, that Folding at Home page actually did some collaboration with Spell of Genesis. And so the connection is that the company stored their logo on Emercoin blockchain in 2015. And I assume it's a really interesting connection between 2 projects. I actually recently reposted it. Yeah, if you'll scroll down a bit, you'll see the explanation. Yeah, here it is.
Here it is. So, yeah, the tweet says, recently found this molecule NFT on Emercoin blockchain from 2015. Appears to be that it is a logo of Folding at Home project, which has a close connection with SOG FD card.
Yeah. So, as I understood from the text from the speech of the creator of Spell of Genesis, so yeah, this FD card was given to the people who was working on this Folding at Home page. It's like a project which was helping and which is still helping to cure some diseases by the computational power. So pretty interesting story. And the cool thing of it is that is a 101. So like, I mean, it can be considered as something really rare because it has a really nice connection with Spell of Genesis. So I don't know, I was really glad to see that there is more and more stuff being connected with the Emercoin blockchain. So yeah.
And just for a point of clarification, on Emercoin, since it is very similar to Namecoin, Are token holders required to re-register the token so that they don't expire and lose ownership?
Yeah, it's simply the same concept is on Namecoin. So the concept of registering the name and holding it and then paying to for it to not expire is the same as on Namecoin. So if you forget to for example, to pay for the continuation, someone can easily just have it. So yeah, that's how it works. The person can easily just re-register it again to himself. So the simple concept, which is similar to Namecoin. Yeah.
Simple yet very powerful. So as everybody began looking through the Emercoin blockchain and then began communicating with some of the devs, was there a mad rush to claim a lot of these assets? Was there anything interesting that you found that might be different from Namecoin or the way that tokens, or here, let me rephrase this. Is there anything different regarding non-fungible tokens on Emercoin blockchain that might be unique compared to some of the other historical blockchains that hold historical NFTs?
Let me think. Maybe the principle of registering the name is, as I experienced, really similar to Namecoin. Of course, it's a different blockchain, has some different techniques, but there is no actual a visual difference that I saw in the concept of storing it. The only thing that I actually was interested in exploring is the DPO functionality, like digital proof of ownership, which does bottles and hats have. I didn't yet understood it, but I assume you are given a certificate if you register a name and do some additional steps to somehow prove this certificate. But I don't know. It's really some interesting approach, but the concepts are pretty similar. So yeah, it's looks like analogy of Namecoin.
Yeah, it is pretty simpler. Yeah, so I just pulled up the DPO explanation on the website. It says if you own pretty much anything, your ownership data are usually stored in centralized databases open to all kinds of centralized manipulation. With DPO, it is not a decentralized ledger of ownership certificates. It can be used across all industries where you can't entrust the management of ownership data to a single authority. From land titles to software licenses to vehicle registration data, DPO will keep you assured that whenever something becomes yours, it'll stay yours. So it sounds like they were on the early stages of experimenting with titles and various ownership deeds that exist in the real world. They were attempting to tokenize it on the blockchain through this registry.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I assume it sounds pretty.
And technically, those are all NFTs because a non-fungible token is just a unique token that represents some sort of specific data set. So right here on the next paragraph, it says, before blockchain validating ownership was a drag in many areas, software licenses and subscriptions, land titles, art and jewelry, ownership, vehicle registration, and more. Authenticating ownership via written records is burdensome and opens up the possibility of fraud, counterfeiting, and even theft. So it makes me curious then with some of these early NFTs, whether you can find some sort of specific software license or land titles, like maybe if you find the first ever land deed that was tokenized, whether it still exists today or not, could be something that could be considered historical, because I'm not aware of anything like this on Namecoin blockchain, but right here they're specifying on the website that the intent is basically tokenizing real world assets in maybe its earliest form. So to me, that would, if something like that was found early and then you could actually take ownership of that, that would have a lot of historical significance, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I assume that's what makes Emercoin special, because when I was exploring Namecoin, I actually found out that it just have this domain registration functionality, and this functionality was just registering names. I didn't find so many other things which Emercoin has, like this DPO, or they also have some things for decentralized. What can I remember? Decentralized domains or something. So yeah, it has some additional features which Namecoin doesn't have.
And so, yeah, so just for clarification, between you, Swooty, and everybody else that was looking through, you weren't able to uncover any of these mentioned use cases, registrations, etc. So far, so they could possibly still be out there.
So yeah, it's a really interesting mystery behind all of this, because I found these NFTs, which are Ethereum certificate and bottles, and they have this DPO functionality. And till this day, we didn't yet prove that there is something physical behind it, or something which maybe they have like an actual bottle, or is the certificate which actually gives some rights or something. But there still could be something. It's like it's still an image. So this name is definitely contains an image inside it. So for example, if you see this bottle, it actually has a link which will lead you to the image, so you can prove that you own it. But what I like in the Emercoin, that there are still plenty of mystery uncovered. Like we still have so much news topics that will give this blockchain and NFTs in it so much attention, because yeah, I mean, we didn't yet find out who the creator of the oldest image created in here. We didn't yet find out about the bottles, about the hats. What we did, that we already scraped a lot of data. So Swooty actually confirmed that there is nothing left before this 2014 year. So the registering started in 2013. Like, there won't be something like, oh, we found something in 2013. No, I asked him already a couple of times. He made some significant work to really scrape everything that was left there. So yeah, but an interesting part that yeah.
So here, let me ask this then. So everybody has gone back from a technical standpoint, and you've scraped to be able to see if there's any other bits of data information out there. Did you guys go on a search at all for provenance? Maybe things written in Bitcoin Talk or early forums stating intent to tokenize these assets, or maybe some more of the further explanation of the meaning behind some of these experimentations?
I assume I didn't make such a big dive into exploring the assets like this Emercoin bottles or the Ethereum certificate. I can actually say that people still can try to understand what stands behind them. The most, I assume, efficient way would be just to take the names, just to take the values which this asset contains, and somehow try to connect it in Google, which will lead you to the explanation of these assets. But as people who are working on this project, we didn't yet made a big dive into the understanding what is special behind it.
So plenty of room to explore. What is the thought? What is, for those that have talked with the original devs, what are their thoughts of historical NFT collectors or excavators coming in and sifting through the blockchain? Was there any pushback from them? Were they very open to what you guys were poking around and doing? Just kind of the perspective from that point.
So sure, I'll tell it. Firstly, when I found it, I shared it straight away with Adam, because I think also if I find this something, I'm like sharing it with Adam, like asking, is it cool? Is it looks interesting? Is it has some historical significance? So I made a post about it and I asked Adam, like, does it look cool? And he was like, damn, dude, it's insane. That's really cool. Emercoin, it's a hybrid of Peercoin and Bitcoin. Damn. It's really awesome. So he actually said that it looks really interesting. Then I was trying to connect with Leonidas. After I was able to have a special historical NFT podcast with Medved and their project NFT Now, and Leonidas attended it, Adam did, White Rabbit did. So we had really cozy and cool conversation together. They really liked what was found. Adam said that this project is in the history of the NFTs. So I mean, pretty much every big names which are now in the historical, like this, I'll say this is a still small space of NFTs, like the historical space. They are already confirmed that Emercoin has some really great significance and an impact on the space. So
okay, and then just one step further, outside of the archaeologist, what about the communication with the Emercoin dev team? Were they? Is there any ongoing communication between them? Was there any pushback from them, or were they open to assisting with any of the questions that you and Sudi and everybody else brought to them?
We're actually trying to get them on our previous podcast with Medved and Leonidas and Adam and White Rabbit, but they were not able to attend, or I don't actually remember, or they didn't yet want to, but they are pretty fine about it, because the statement of Oleg that I remember, that he agrees with Vitalik Buterin that Namecoin actually has the first non-fungible tokens, and that means that if Vitalik Buterin said that Namecoin has such thing, it means that Emercoin also considered as a blockchain which has NFTs, because it's pretty similar to Namecoin. So he says, there are NFTs which exist on the blockchain. If you want to talk to him, you can go to the support chat. Sometimes he's there, he's answering the questions, really responsive, really great guy. He helped me to understand how the Emercoin blockchain works when I stuck with some steps on understanding it. So there are also plenty other guys who helped me with it, but I could be mistaken, but I assume that Oleg is one of the main devs. So
Awesome. And now moving into Emercoin Wine and some of the things that exist on OpenSea right now. Obviously, from what I gathered, this is not tokenized through Emblem Vault because it has its own page. This Emblem Vault has been the primary I guess you could call it a bridging asset to be able to purchase some of these historical assets. So what is the mechanism set up behind Emercoin Wine Collection, R2D2, the Ethereum certificates, and a few of the other ones you have listed?
So the concept is pretty simple, but also pretty innovative and outstanding, because there are not so much things that exist here yet. So Adam actually was the person who helped me to come up with it. I had a previous rediscovery which called NXT Drop, and we did the same concept in it, and which we did with the bottles. So firstly, I was trying to get us as quickly as possible on Emblem Vault. Adam was actually able to connect us with Shannon. We talked to him that how we can do this. He said that is actually possible. Yeah, for sure, they'll be able to do this, and they'll integrate it. But then we understood that it takes some time, because Shannon, as I understood, had some other priorities. He, as I understood, want to create something like a marketplace for Emblem Vault or something like this, also optimizing contracts. So they just a bit rescheduled our integration, but we're still on the tracks. So Shannon is working on it. So eventually the integration will get into Emblem Vault, because he said that it's actually possible, since the concept is pretty similar to Namecoin. But if we're talking about the stuff which already integrated into OpenSea as Ethereum certificates, R2D2 and Emercoin bottles, so they have a concept which we come up with to help people who already purchased or registered the asset to create them a better market. So, for example, if you have an OTC, you still can exchange an asset with the people, but sometimes it is not so, not so safe, or you don't have such visible thing with an OTC, which you have on OpenSea. So we decided to integrate it into OpenSea. And the concept is that if you want to trade your asset on OpenSea, you basically send the core asset to me on Emercoin blockchain, and then you receive an asset on OpenSea to freely trade. So if, for example, if the person will sell this asset on OpenSea to another, he will be able then to ask me to send him the original one on Emercoin. This technology was made to prevent people from selling like empty boxes. For example, the person could have sell an asset on OpenSea and then sell an asset on Emercoin if he had already it in his wallet. So he would be able, for example, to sell a package, and then to sell a core. But if I own it, then people are selling the packages, and if they actually want to receive the core ones, they're asking me, and they're sending and I'm sending it to them.
Okay.
So yeah, I know that it's a bit sounds complicated, but with this approach, we actually really proud, because it makes us somehow be outstanding. People are a bit they're sometimes a bit shocked. They're like, damn, it's not so decentralized, but there are still transfers of actual assets. There are still transactions. So we haven't had any issues with such technology yet. So people are just
right. So this is the intermediate solution until Emercoin is integrated into Emblem Vault, where they could be securely traded and shown in the vault where the asset is. And for now, the Emercoin team, which is you and I'm assuming a few others, are custodying the assets. And then in order for them to redeem the asset, so if I owned one of these Emercoin wine bottles, I would purchase it right here if there's one for 0.5. And then if I wanted the actual token itself, I would send you the OpenSea NFT, and then you would send me the actual Emercoin token itself, correct?
Yeah, that's true. That's
and then
that sounds a bit better. Yeah.
And then what would you do with the Emercoin NFT on OpenSea? Would you just burn it?
It stays in my wallet, so I'm as a owner not allowed to sell it, move it, or do something else with it, because it's still property of a person who bought it. For example, if the person will again want to sell it on OpenSea, he will just send me an asset on Emercoin, and then I'll send this asset to him into his Ethereum wallet. So yeah, to make everything optimized. So he still stays as an owner of the token. And if he wants to come back to OpenSea, he always can do so, and nothing problems.
Is there
with it.
Is there any way for us as a community to verify that there are 53 Emercoin wine tokens in your wallet or whoever is custodying it?
Yeah, there are actually. Let me check the name of it. If we'll go to, one second. If we'll go to, you can open one asset, for example, on the OpenSea. Yeah, scroll down. If you'll see in the description, it's called DPO Shuba test. Mm-hmm. So if you'll take this DPO Shuba test,
all of this afterwards too.
Let me think. Try to take DPO Shuba, the one which starts. Yeah, this one. So you can put it on Swooty's blockchain, Swooty Explorer. Yeah, and you'll see the assets in it. You'll see that there are some more names which has just DPO Shuba or something, but they don't have an image with link in it. Like it's like a concept with Twitter X. So, for example, they have some different names, but they still have a link in it with an image which proves that the image existed on the blockchain and which it was actually put on the blockchain at some point. What else?
Okay, this makes sense. At least you can audit it and verify it to the degree. So my next question is then, as Emercoin NFT admins, how many tokens how many tokens did the team successfully acquire? And the reason why I ask this is because I think the Puny Codes team from Namecoin, also the historical names or domains peep on Namecoin, had a large intent to only claim a fraction of the overall supply, to therefore increase demand and longevity of the project over time. Whereas we know with other projects, people have come in and just literally claimed the entire supply overall. So my question is, where does the Emercoin admin stand within this framework?
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting story. I already left with not so much supply of an assets. So most parts of them being sold by me, or for example, I wasn't able to register because there was a competitive search on the blockchain. So I was only able to acquire part. And the fun part about it, that Emercoin blockchain actually was discovered earlier than the puny codes. So our team was able to discover some NFTs in it, like R2D2 and some bottles and Ethereum certificates. But we didn't look through the puny codes because there was no such thing yet. And then some person, not some person, the guys who found them, there was like, oh, there's something like puny codes, you should check it out. We registered a couple. And I was like, puny codes sounds interesting, but I didn't yet understand this. And I was like, I guess I'll skip it for now. So yeah. And then one guy, his name Fu Buzzler, or I don't remember correctly, he contacted me and he said, dude, do you know that the blockchain which you recently rediscovered also have puny codes? And I was like, really? Yeah, that's true. And he was like, yeah, check them out. There are still plenty of claims. You should check them and share this info about it. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do this. And I was able to acquire some parts, like, I don't know, maybe 5% or 10. I didn't yet look through how many I was able to get. I was just trying to get as much as I could, but I assume when I looked through it, there was not so many left already, because people already started to checking them out, and Emercoin blockchain already was revealed, and people understood that there could be some puny codes in there and domains, and yeah, they just checked them.
Okay, yeah. So if there was about, I remember saying something about around 1,000 puny codes, so that'd leave it with about 50 to 100, and then whoever else went and chased after them. I did get one through like some giveaway from somebody, so I do own one Emercoin puny code, so pretty cool to see, especially once it becomes integrated. As far as the admins of the community, what are the next steps from the leaders in the process of bringing more awareness to this new discovery?
I assume that the most important part is just to let the time do its work, because as I understood how the whole adaptation of the blockchain works, is that some communities start to recognize that it's something, they start to help it to grow and help it to spread the word about it, as our team who trying to get more attention to Emercoin blockchain. We assume that the most important part here yet is to get an emblem vault integration, because it will let people to actually own an asset and don't worry about anything. I think that it's the most important part. We're working on it. What else? We also want to, what we already was able to do is to scrape the data. So the Swooty made really great work, and the other people to help us to do so. It was on the plan what we had to do. Also, let me check. We already was able to create a DAO. If you're a member of a DAO, you have an ability to receive an information about new rediscovered blockchains by us, which has a potential to have an NFTs on them. There are already 2 people on the DAO. So what else? Oh, I actually have a roadmap. I forgot about it. We so in our plan we had an OS integration. We did it with the vouchers. So we attended on the NFT Now podcast. This podcast was actually really huge. I didn't expect our first podcast to be this large, but yeah, it's still cool. What else? We did an Explorer for it. The new Explorer, it looks nice. Also, we're thinking about making something like a drop of Unicodes. I didn't yet understood the concept and didn't plan how to do it yet, but maybe something like Pride Punks did, because the owner had, so as understood from Pride Punks, the owner had the contract, he made a wrapper, and then he made like a historical NFT drop. That actually sounds really cool. We wanted to do some similar to the Emercoin, with the Unicodes and the rest of the assets which left in the wallets which we have. What else? So yeah, just to build a healthy community around it, make plenty of giveaways, and yeah, give it some time, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, the Pride Punks thing was a lot of fun. I got to have Dennison on, and you're bringing the modern drop mechanics to the historical NFTs, and it just brings a lot of excitement to the space that's mostly dominated by collectors. And here it kind of brings in some of the flippers and a little bit more attention to the market dynamics, and it increases a lot of momentum and excitement around it. So I'd be excited to see how that comes out over time.
Actually, the fun part about Pride Punks is that Dennison, who is the creator of the contract, he contacted me 2 months ago about this project. He was like, dude, I really appreciate the work which you're doing with the NXT dropped, and there was no Emercoin at this point yet. I assume it was not so much attention about Emercoin. He was like, I would like to have your opinion about it. What should I do? And I gave him an idea of making this historical drop. So I was like, dude, really interesting. If you want to create a community or sell this project, or just to have some kind of attention to it, I think the historical drop would be an interesting idea. And I assume he was like, yeah, I'll think about it. And then afterwards, I showed this to Adam, this Pride Punks. I think I didn't show it. I connected Dennison with Adam, then I connected him with other people. And yeah, I didn't expect it to blow up this much, but it was really fun to watch how this project was able to develop. So yeah, we're thinking to making maybe something sort of similar thing to Pride Punk's drop on Emercoin, but I didn't yet got the concept how to properly do this. But it still sounds interesting and fun. We'll think about it, I assume, in future.
Yeah, if you did a drop like that without it being on Emblem Vault, you'd probably have to bring in a trusted third-party escrow, whether it's somebody like Adam or Leonidas or myself, or multiple people that are have a multi-sig over the assets. Because if you're implementing a style that you use currently today, where you're custodying and selling it, everyone would have to just make sure that the assets are safe. But it could easily be done. You just have to bring in a few extra parties, I believe.
Yeah, we were thinking about maybe a wrapper or something, but I don't know yet, because I want to have a really smooth development of this project. I don't want to make like a super hype of it and then to make it like stay silent for some time. But the idea of drop makes me really driven, because I think it would be cool to maybe make a drop of Unicodes and also give an ability for people to maybe mint this the rarest, the oldest art, which was on the which is on the Emercoin blockchain with Star Revenge. So to let the people to actually like maybe mint a rare panic code, but also have an ability them to mint the cool art as wine, which we have left, or the Ethereum certificate, which we had left, to make like a general drop. I don't know. It's still in the progress of development, but we have some ideas. I hope I was able to explain.
You explained it very well. Also, with the drop and the random generation of the minting process, you therefore increase the a unique owner distribution as well, which we know in the historical space has been a large hindrance for the majority of time, where old holders come in during any momentum swing upwards and just dump into the momentum and send the price back down. And that'll continually happen until we reach some sort of equilibrium for unique owner distribution. But if you have a drop mechanic like this, that literally solves it right off the bat, unless somebody comes in and bots a lot of the minting. But you can set up mechanisms to prevent that from happening. So I'm 100% in favor, as long as you could figure out a few of the back end logistics to it as well.
Yeah, I hope we'll be able to do this, and we'll, as a team, will be able to understand how to properly, because we don't know. There are two ways to go. Like, there are emblem vault integration, and there is this thing, and there are plenty of thoughts actually, and plenty of potential to the Emercoin development from now on. I think, the main part is not to rush here, because we can try to make something and it will come out of like something trashy. I don't want to do it like this. I want to like think of a bit more. But the integration seems like a good thing. Yeah,
I agree. Well, Non-Fungible, I appreciate you for sharing your time and explaining everything about Emercoin, at least to the degree of where the community stands today. For those who've been listening or watching, what is the best way for them to get involved with the community if they want to learn more about Emercoin or buy some NFTs, etc.?
So the best approach is to get in the community, is to join our Discord, because I'm actually talking in it every day. I'm checking on new developments. I'm checking on the info which is being provided. I'm also developing the mechanics which it has. As for purchasing, I assume like 2 months ago, there was a possibility to still claim some rare assets and to actually have them for almost free. But for now, I assume vouchers is a good approach to get some asset. The thing which you showed on OpenSea, this things with wine, the Ethereum certificate or 2D2. What else? There is also an OTC channel in our Discord. So yeah. OpenSea and our Discord. The best way is to get into the Emercoin community. We're welcome to everybody, so would be glad if anybody will join. So yeah,
hop in the Discord, everyone. The link is below. Make sure you give NonFungibleMate a follow on Twitter, as well as the Emercoin NFTs Twitter account that was displayed before. I'm hoping at some point I can purchase some more of these Emercoin NFTs outside of just the one puny that I own. I'm excited for it now that I understand it a little bit better. I would like to see if some of those titles and early ownership experimentations pop up. I think there's some value there. Go out and treasure hunt if you're a technically literate person and can figure it out. I'm smooth brain, so I can't. So I'll be catching some of the tailwinds of everyone else. And Non-Fungible, thank you for sharing your time with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was really fun. I hope I'll be able to attend more podcasts from now on. Have a great time. Bye.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll catch you next time.